This is the Coin Show Podcast, the show about coins and coin collecting. And not just any show. This is the #1 coin collecting podcast, going 10 years strong. Here's Matt Dinger and Mike Nodelman on the Coin Show Podcast.
It is indeed episode 177 of the Coin Show Podcast. Matt, I don't know where you get that music, but it's like every single week it's something different, and it's something that kind of gets me in the mood and kind of takes me a different place.
I like to set the mood, you know. I like to get into a headspace that takes us places on the show.
Yeah, no, it definitely takes me places. So, on this episode of the Coin Show Podcast, Matt and I are going to talk about, let's see, what's going on in our shops. And we will maybe do some other things, answer some questions from the people live on Facebook and YouTube. We are also going to see what you have sent us as your coolest things, which is one of our favorite things to do on this show. But first, as always, the news.
My favorite part is coming up
The
right
news
now.
brought to you by, well, it would have been brought to you by the United States Postal Service, but they didn't come today.
Oh, I have stories for you, my friend. Boy.
I'm quite certain it has been, look, I have a friend who is a letter carrier, so I really, it's like, look, I get it, and I certainly don't want anybody going postal over this, but it's fun to kind of have some fun with it, and it's making better out of a bad situation. It's the whole tragedy plus time equals comedy thing, and maybe we don't have enough time. Maybe it's too soon.
We had packages that went out on the 26th of November. Showed up
Week after Thanksgiving.
Showed up today.
Well, they showed up.
Yes. Oh, I'm fairly sure that everything's going to show up. It's just
okay.
That's a long time.
Well, it showed up, before Christmas. So
yeah, that's true. It was about 40 packages though, so that was a lot of fun with folks on eBay and.
Yeah, we're talking about priority mail stuff that is showing up weeks later.
For sure.
I mean, we're not talking about first class, which kind of gets bumped to the back when you've got all this tons of priority mail stuff going.
For sure.
I had to order a Christmas present for my daughter, the other day to send it out to the East Coast so that she'd get it in time. And I mean, I had to send it FedEx to avoid the post service.
I say they just sell the post office to Jeff Bezos and Amazon and let them handle it. Because I can order a heated blanket and like later that night it's on my doorstep if I want it that way.
Yes, but Jeff Bezos is also not charging people 55 cents to
That's true.
Eat something.
Well, you could get that Prime postal subscription and
I think look, there are economies of scale to be realized. I think that the distribution of stuff could work way better. Yeah. But remember, the postal service is not government anymore; it's a private company, but it's under government control, basically. So
wow, I can't believe your sponsor of the news sparked conversation. Amazing.
I know. We actually were controversial about the sponsor.
Yeah. Wow. Let's check the news out.
I'm sorry?
Oh, I was just jumping over to the news.
Oh, okay. So, Matt, to the surprise of almost nobody, the 2021 Long Beach Expo has been canceled.
Wah, wah. Wait, where is it?
Scheduled,
where is
Originally scheduled for February 4th through 6th, the hopes were that COVID restrictions would have been lessened by then, but unfortunately, the curve has been moving in the wrong direction for several weeks now.
Especially in California.
Heritage Auctions will still hold the Long Beach Expo U.S. Coins Auction, but all lot viewing and bidding will be done either by phone or online. CoinWeek.com gives you a link to the auction lots in the article, so that's kind of nice.
Shame,
but it shouldn't be a real surprise to anybody.
No, I was gonna say it's a shame, but I couldn't tell you I was surprised.
And look, we're hopeful now that there's a vaccine. That should improve things.
Yep.
But it's only going to improve things after a large portion of the population has been vaccinated.
Yep, I agree.
The National Money Show in Phoenix has also officially been canceled. So the ANA Board of Governors will consider replacing the show in Phoenix as soon as 2023. The ANA is currently trying to determine whether or not Summer Seminar will be a live or online event. So the plans to host at the Antlers Wyndham Hotel was determined to be too costly for this year's budget. Other sites are still being considered, but at this late date, I don't know.
Jeez. Unfortunate, but again, not surprised.
Yeah. Also, timeline. It's just one of those things where gold and silver prices have risen this month and look to close out 2020 strong.
I was going to say, way to follow those two depressing stories with some good news.
Yeah, I'll take you right there. So, typically metal prices tend to rise a bit in December as people buy year-end gifts and put metals into IRAs and the like. Futures for February gold, though, and February silver are both up, so metal prices don't seem to be dropping anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, we live in some weird times, and I'm just not sure what's going to happen. I don't think anybody is.
Well, that's the whole thing about markets, particularly metal markets. Uncertainty drives metal prices.
Yeah.
So I don't think I could ever remember a more uncertain time in my life.
No, me neither.
So, I expect the metals to be going nuts regardless of what the stock market's doing.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah, for once in my life.
The first time for everything, right?
Sure. Broken clocks are right twice a day, right? PMG has certified the world's greatest collection of national bank notes.
I saw this story.
Andrew Shiva collection is considered to be, by many, to have the most intriguing and valuable notes, not to mention that it has not only achieved museum quality grades, but includes the rarest national bank notes known.
It's kind of strange because I saw some of these notes actually just were graded by PCGS bank notes, so I'm kind of perplexed as to why they decided to send them over to PMG to get certified, because I think a lot of them went into the exact same grade. I don't know. Grading wars.
I don't think it was as much a knock on PMG as much, on PCGS banknote as it was a publicity thing to get them into the PCGS holders. And for whatever reason, that kind of stuff can be reciprocated over on the other side by PMG. So who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows what the arrangement was? So what I think is really interesting, the Coin Week article kind of goes on and tells you that that national banknotes were printed between 1862 and 1935, and during that time, a bank could they could apply to participate in the national banking system. And once they were chartered by the federal government, the bank was allowed to issue and circulate notes under its own name. So that's what a lot of people don't get, is that things have changed that much between then and now. Now our money is issued by the U.S. government.
Right.
These were notes that were issued by specific banks.
They were made by the government, but backed by the banks.
Right. And they were signed by the banks, too. So there are four major categories of national bank notes. There are first charters, which are the original series and the series of 1875. The series of 1882, which have a brown back, a value back, and a date back. The series of 1902, which have both red and blue seals. And finally, series of 1929, Type 1 and Type 2, which are small-sized national bank notes. These categories represent major design shifts in the series. The 29, Type 1, and Type 2, I'm thinking, are the national currency. First, the national currency that were issued from the banks, the charter banks, and then the ones that were issued on the Federal Reserve banks.
Now, the Type 1 and Type 2 has to do with the way that they printed the charter numbers on the notes themselves.
Okay. Yep. So although earlier paper currencies had been created in the United States, national banknotes were extremely successful because they were trusted locally by people who knew the local bank, but they also could circulate nationally because they had the national design on. In all, 12,635 banks participated in the national banking system and printed their own unique currency. Now, here's the interesting thing that I found in the article was that Shiva started collecting national banknotes in
Wait, in what year? I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit.
1989.
Huh, well.
So it was only 30 years ago. I mean, it really did not take him that long to accumulate, the finest collection known.
Well, there's certain things that can be done with lots and lots of money.
True. But sometimes it also takes opportunity.
That's true.
PCGS has announced the 2020 Registry Set Award winners.
Oh, cool. I always like these.
So the PCGS Best Digital Album Award went to an 1873 proof set owned by a collector known as D-Lud. The article gives a link to the complete list of winners. What I love about this is that the list is composed of links to the actual sets. So if you go and look up this list, you can click into the list and you can see the sets, which is really, really cool.
Oh, yeah. I might have to do that later.
Yeah. So you can not only see what, won, you can actually see the coins. And that's, I think, it gives you a lot of the why.
Yeah. Well,
In news from America's Toque.
What?
The Bank of Canada Act and the Currency Act, passed in 2018, takes effect on January 1st, 2021.
So what was this?
That's what I kind of figured. Yeah, it's been a while. So the act removes legal tender status from $1 to $25, $500, and $1,000 bills, which are no longer being produced. So the change means that the bills cannot be used in cash transactions moving forward, but they will remain redeemable at the Bank of Canada, at least for the foreseeable future. So they're not demonetizing them. They're just taking away the legal tender status.
Yeah.
So the act overall is not a recall, nor does it make any notes illegal to possess. It just takes them out of circulation.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's when you do away with notes, eventually you'll have to do that.
Well, what they're doing is they're trying to bolster the integrity of their currency in general. Whereas the United States has, we've always allowed all the old currency and stuff. It's still money, and you can still use it. And it becomes, particularly for non-numismatists or non-currency collectors, it becomes increasingly difficult for them to authenticate some of this stuff.
Right.
So they're taking $500 bills or taking $1,000 bills when they have, they're just not real. So.
Yeah, I mean, I understand.
The American Innovation Dollars for the state of Maryland have been released.
Is this the Hubble one? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, now this is not the final release for 2020. The South Carolina dollar coin has yet to be made available. They are scheduled for a January 10th release. So,
wow.
The Mint is trying to pump this stuff out. It's trying to keep producing collector stuff because God knows they're not producing it for circulation. 3 winners will have to split the prize for submitting the first Tall Grass Prairie National Preserve quarters to PCGS.
I like that they're still doing this, actually. Good job on you, PCGS. I like that you guys are still doing this $2,000 or this cash prize bounty for submitting the first W quarters found in the wild. I think that's cool. Absolutely.
So coins submitted within 7 days of the first submission also receive special early find labels. Next year, the Beautiful Quarter program ends with a single America the Beautiful Quarter and then Washington crossing the Delaware. So I wonder what the plans are for W-Mint issues and where's the legislation for the new program in 2022?
I don't know. I'm sure there'll be another program because why not?
It's coming. There's going to be at least 5 a year. They can't live on one design. Yeah. That's not going to happen. So, I would understand if they stop the W-Mint issues with the end of the America the Beautiful Quarter program. That's not typical of them, but okay. So the Washington crossing the Delaware is supposed to be a limited, to the end of the year design.
I would kind of like to see
I'd like to see a W of that and only make 2 million of them, just like the America the Beautiful.
I would like to see some sort of important American series where they have all sorts of different kinds of people on these coins on the reverse.
They already had the presidential dollar program. I mean, how much more important to America are you going to get? And do you realize, you rolled your eyes at me?
I did see that. I can roll my eyes all I want, but I'm just saying, I think it would be fun to have an influential or important Americans coin series. Not necessarily presidents, but, people that did important things in America, whether it was going to the moon or, screaming that the British were coming or, that kind of thing. Be interesting.
We've already done American Innovation.
Right.
We have done the presidential dollars.
Okay.
We have highlighted many of these people that you're talking about on our statehood quarter program.
Yeah, some of them.
Many of them.
Some.
So, my thing is that can we stop doing real people on coins?
But that's
what medals are for.
We've obviously done away with the allegorical liberty on most of our coinage. It's been done away with for years.
Okay. That still doesn't mean that we can't do something else as far as design.
I guess so.
The design dictates, or the legislation dictates, right, that it says liberty, it says in God we trust, and that it has an eagle on it. that's not really a lot of parameter. You could kind of expand on that and just, stop with the dead people theme. And I don't know. I'm just, I think that they should euthanize the state or the presidential dollar series.
We should have a series of coins that are people my kids watch on YouTube. I love it. Boom, right there. $1 million idea.
The YouTuber dollars. No. We have to make it quarters, so they're in the hands of the people.
That's right. You can pay to have your.
I like the idea of look, they got to do something else.
I like the Mr. Beast quarter. I'm in.
Well, I mean, what about when they first said that they were going to do the statehood quarter program, I thought that they were going to do like state seals or state flags. That's going to be somebody's going to do it.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be something that's so innocuous and so bad that
it's quite possible.
Let's see. Where was I? Oh, so anyway,
I was kind of wondering the same thing.
Wow. The American Numismatic Society has announced a new prize in ancient numismatics.
Oh, cool. I wonder if you're
Professor James M. Collier. The Collier Prize will be awarded every other year to the best single or multi-authored book, catalog, or online digital work in the field of ancient numismatics.
Has your boss petitioned the lobby to be posthumously awarded? Or not posthumously, but awarded in...
Like, wow.
Not posthumously, these are a word. To be awarded for a previously produced book?
Well, let's see. So next year, the first winner will be announced for work published in 2019 and 2020. So the winner or winners will receive a cash prize of $20,000.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
That's cool.
But it's only given every other year. Yeah, so.
Yeah, fun prize. I mean, the more awards, the better in this hobby. Kind of encourage people to produce works that are useful and good, and I think it's a great idea.
Well, okay, so I'm getting a little bit of I don't know what the effect is called, but you know how when you buy a car, you buy a specific type of car, and then you see that car everywhere on the road, right?
Right. Yes.
But mostly because you're associated with it now, and you think that. So now, having worked for Harlan J. Berg, it's like now I see all kinds of things that relate to ancients and stuff like that. So now they're putting out this new ancient award. I'm like,
those Facebook algorithms got you.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Is that I'm just noticing it more. I don't know.
It's entirely possible.
The United States Mint has once again produced over 1 billion coins for circulation during a single month.
Wow.
I seriously wonder, if 2022 will be like 1922 as far as the number of U.S. coins that are needed for circulation and therefore not minted.
It's hard to say. That's a decent thought.
I mean, look, in 1922, they made pennies and silver dollars. Now, they also make gold coins and commams and stuff like that, but that was all above and beyond. For circulation, they made cents and peace dollars.
Yeah, I mean, 21's the same way. Very, very few coins that year. A few more.
They made almost all the coins, though.
Yeah.
But it's a key date for almost every single one of them, which is cool. I said that if I could go back to any date and time, I'd go back to 1921. But the problem is that even if you were there during 1921, you still wouldn't be able to find them.
Right.
So you'd find tons of 1920 stuff and 1919 and whatever.
Cool.
And that if you hung around until after the new year, you'd find 1922 stuff.
That's insane, though. Since June of 2020, every month they've produced around 1.5 billion coins. Insanity.
Yes. So, I mean, they have absolutely flooded, the
coffers, the banks. I mean,
as many coins as they possibly can. And what's going to happen is, as everything goes back to normal and people actually start congregating, they're going to start to spend coin again. And, their coin is going to come out of these jars where it's been sitting. I know people that have jars that, they come home and they got any change, they just throw it in there.
Yeah, I've got one.
They don't have to worry about it. Right. They don't have to worry about it. Well, a lot of that's going to go to the banks when COVID's over, and, the bank is going to take it, and there's not going to be a need for any change for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. It's an interesting hypothesis. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
We'll see what happens. What you can always count on the minting is George H.W. Bush presidential dollars. So the bags and rolls of these completely unnecessary but oddly wanted coins were released this week. Buyers have ordered 1.35 million in the first week.
What?
Yeah, 1.35 million George H.W. Bush presidential dollars.
Wow.
It to me is just absolutely mind-boggling.
They all got shipped to Texas,
where they won't have broccoli, and I don't think it's prudent. Also released finally this week was the 2020 U.S. Mint uncirculated coin set, which sold 191,000 in its first week.
And that was issued this week?
Yeah. So this is the latest release for a Mint set that I can remember, but if I recall correctly, way back when, they used to ship the sets the next year, and I'm pretty unsure what the submission deadline on that was.
Yeah.
But they also used mail for ordering, so the world was completely different then. So the Mint also announced that they were limiting the sets at 213,000. So think about that, 191,000 at first week. Out of 213,000, that leaves 24,000 sets, which would not include a bonus 2020 W uncirculated nickel as was expected.
Right.
Now, this would make the 2020 set the lowest mintage set since 1959. Well, guess what?
Sold out.
Slide, please. 2020 United States uncirculated coin set is currently unavailable. Now, if that's that, or if that's a, because to me, I hope that most of them went to subscription buyers and regular buyers of these sets. I know that since I collect them, I was looking for them, and I noticed that they hadn't been out yet. And for them to disappear in 2 weeks certainly will create a flip opportunity. But here's the difference between this and other flip opportunities. This one wasn't announced until the last minute, that the set would be limited, let alone be available at all in 2020. So that said, this set is going to be largely in the hands of people that would normally have it. And now it's up to them whether or not they want to part with it as the market rises on it. And I think that rewards the correct people.
Yeah. I mean, and it's hard to say what's going to happen here. I got to think there's going to be some upward mobility in the price of this set, but
a crash.
Yeah, being a year that a lot of people don't have that disposable income, I would say, is lower than it has normally been. I would say that it's probably not a bad set to look at for future value.
On average, they've been selling 250,000, 260,000. Last year they put the W Mint penny in it, and they sold over 340,000.
Right.
I mean, it really kind of brought up the mintage on it, but this one they're not putting the nickel in it, so there's not that extra incentive to do it. So you figure it's going to drop more towards normal, and then they just chopped it down at the end of the year and said, "Here you go, have at."
Knock yourselves out, kids.
Yeah. So, but that said, the 2020 limited edition silver proof set is now available, at least for now.
Yeah, and this is the one that's just the silver coins, right?
Yeah, this one has a 50,000 mintage, a household limited 2, an S Mint proof silver eagle. All those should make this set popular. Now, the $201 price tag may thin the pool of buyers and keep it available for at least a couple of weeks.
Yeah, man, that seems like a lot.
But yeah, well, I mean, it is. But, when you think about the fact that the S Mint proof silver eagle is no longer available, so there's your opportunity to get that. And the silver proof sets are sold out.
Yeah, you're kind of running out of stuff if you need something for 2020.
So I think they played their hand very well at the end of this year.
Wow.
And finally in the news, NGC has certified a 10-kilogram gold 2020 Year of the Rat coin.
Really? Woo. That's not what
Absolutely. Now, when you think about it, what could be more fitting of 2020 than name Year of the Rat?
Right.
Bringing disease and death to the world. Thanks, Year of the Rat.
Thanks, Year of the Rat. You're the best.
Thanks, Obama. No, I mean, what else would we call it? Maybe the year of plague on humanity? The lost year? But I really digress.
Yes,
The coin weighs 10 kilos of 999 fine gold, has a melt value of over $600,000. NGC also certified its little brother a 2-kilo gold coin worth over $120,000. They are, of course, Proof 70 Ultra Cameo, but I don't understand why the Chinese government would mint these gigantic coins.
Wow.
I just don't get it. Never have. Just don't get it.
Wow. That was, me neither.
So that's the news.
That's the news. And who was the news brought to you by again?
This was the news would have been brought to us by the United States Postal Service, but they didn't come today.
Jerks.
Yeah, so.
You're listening to the Coin Show Podcast with Matt Dinger and Mike Nodelman.
So, Matt.
Mike.
What was going on around your shop this week?
Oh, boy. It's been a real awesome couple of weeks for us, friend. I'll tell you what.
You were saying that there was no business.
There was no business because we were closed.
Oh, that would happen.
We just had to stay closed. Well, no, one of our employees got the Rona, got the COVID. So they exposed everybody in the office. We took 14 days of quarantine, shut down. Nobody else got it. Everybody else is fine, but
that's good.
He had a positive test, unfortunately, so we, wanted to be safe. And so that's what we did.
Is he regaining his health?
He's perfectly fine.
Okay, good. So he was either asymptomatic or...
Well, I mean, it's just, it's just out of an abundance of caution for everybody. We've been doing our best to keep everybody safe in the office, both customers and employees. And, I mean, this is, this thing's just going to happen. I mean, you can't avoid it right now. So... it was just a matter of time. So we deep cleaned. We got some busy work done around the office. We listed a lot of stuff on the internet. It was nice. I mean, it was nice.
You can take every precaution possible, every single one possible, and still it happens because this is just that contagious and that much of a plague.
Yeah, I mean, and it just is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. Luckily everybody's still good to go.
So when do you open back up?
Well, today actually was our first day of banging the doors back open. So,
okay. So then what happened?
It was just, it was a busy. What's that?
Was it a bum's rush?
It was very much so. We had a lot of people coming to pick up their grading company orders that have been back for a week or two. We had a lot of people that have just been wanting to buy bullion. I mean, it was busy. It was fun.
Sure. They want to get their year-end stuff done. They want to get their Christmas shopping done.
Yep. So, but yeah, the best part is just everybody's healthy. That's really all we were concerned about. We closed down. We deep cleaned everything. We stayed at home, stayed separated. I mean, it was okay.
You worked from home, right?
We did work from home, or we alternated going into the office. So we weren't around each other.
Yeah, working on your new inventory system.
Yeah, just plugging stuff in, getting it there where it needs to be. I like a little break every once in a while from the wear and tear of having people banging down the doors trying to get in. So it was obviously not optimal for the business standpoint, but it was okay for my mental health.
So you made lemonade.
Yes, we did. I mean, we did some deep cleaning. We got some stuff organized. We sold some stuff in a different way.
Yeah. We have been following every precaution, but I have washed my hands more than I've ever washed my hands.
My hands are so dry because I either hand sanitize or wash them about
That's
20 times a day.
For Christmas this year, they're going to get lotion. They're going to actually go, oh, great.
I know, right? Thanks, Bath and Body Works. Woohoo!
Instead of like normal Bath and Body. Yeah, thanks for thinking.
Oh, cucumber melon. Ugh.
So yes, so we've been taking every precaution. We bought this Microban 24 stuff to spray on the counters.
Yeah.
So it completely kills germs for 24 hours.
Okay, good. I wish I had some of that. I don't think we do. We just Lysol the crap out of everything.
Amazon, 6 cans to a case, I think, is $65.
Whoa! Wow.
You know what? If it works, it
That's
works.
right.
It's good for you and your customers. So.
Yep.
And you spray it once a day, so it's not like, you're really doing anything there. And then we've been kind of, going around cleaning up, doing things. We finally started putting windows back together. We haven't had windows for so long.
I forgot about that. You had all that. Some windows get broke during the civil disturbances downtown Chicago.
I want to be really clear so that people don't overblow it. We had almost a literal riot going on out in front of our store on Clark Street, and yet we had 3 windows that got broken. So it wasn't a huge problem, and nobody got hurt. Nothing got really damaged. They took a couple of coins that amounted to about $50, and they left the $50 coin sitting in the window. So, I don't think that anything other than anger was what was going on. And so, that said, it happened.
Right.
But Chicago gets a really bad rap, and look, deservedly so. There are a lot of shootings here, but there are a lot of shootings in areas of Chicago that most people just never go. And that's what you have to realize is overall, on the whole, the city's very safe.
Oh, I love Chicago.
There are pockets of it that you really, really need to avoid. This is a city that, I grew up in the suburbs, so I didn't live in the city until after I got married. And I learned when I worked in the city that when you go certain places, you have to watch the route you take, because the neighborhoods in Chicago change, and they go from one type to another under a viaduct. You go one side of the viaduct to the other, and it changes what kind of neighborhood it is, and all of a sudden you got to be really careful.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's like I got lost once coming back from McCormick Place. I was on Lakeshore Drive. I drove on 35th Street because I knew 35th Street would go all the way over to Dan Ryan from Lakeshore Drive. I drove through some of the roughest neighborhoods on the near south side of Chicago, and was scolded afterwards for having done so. Really dangerous. Yeah. So.
Well, you wanna?
So I don't want Chicago to get a bad rap, but no, it's a really safe place, and we haven't had too many problems.
No.
So we have a really nice clientele, and we do some really cool business. This week,
Yeah, tell me about it.
a set of Mercury dimes, and you saw it because we kind of publicized it just a bit.
I saw a couple pictures, maybe.
Yeah, it was a complete set, 1916 to 1945, all mint marks, at least 65 full bands.
Wow.
Every single coin.
That's
The
a monster.
16 with 65 bands. The 19S with 65 full bands is even scarcer as a condition rarity. But the 16 was a monster. The 21D is a monster. And there's a 45 plane in 65 full bands.
That's a stupid rare coin.
Yeah.
Most people don't understand that coin being so rare. Try to find one. That is a stupid rare coin.
Yes.
Those coins were just struck so hurriedly, and they were trying to nurse those dies to just keep using them, so they turned the pressures way down, and to get a full split bands on a 45.
And you find San Francisco's, but Philadelphia,
Yeah, it's insane.
Take a look at the gray sheet sometime. It's just absolutely amazing.
Cool. That's always a nice. So I'm gonna guess that next week or next episode, in the coolest thing, I have to really bring something, or just kind of throw it.
Well, yeah, you're gonna have to really bring it, because this one is drop the microphone kind of.
Well, fun.
When I get an opportunity to do that, I'm going to do it, because it's the coolest. There's no question about it.
I don't blame you a bit, because I think, just from what I can tell, I think I'm kicking the crap out of you.
Actually, no. If we go to the unnamed source now says that we are tied.
Unnamed source is a jerk.
Well, unnamed source only speaks the truth, and it actually knocked my ego down a couple of pegs because I thought that the ass kicking was on my foot and not yours.
Hey, I'll take a tie. That's where we started. I'm good to go. We can just start over.
Sure. Well, you better bring it. So
I'm going to be showing you some pocket change. I'm just going to throw this one.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, we've got that going on. We had that come in. Let's see. Learned about bullion a lot this week. Foreign bullion, stuff like that. I came across another 1870s Russian 1 kopeck, which I just like. They're cool copper, I like that kind of stuff. And some Canadian large cents that I bought. And that was pretty much it. I mean, it was, I told you we're out of 1975 mid cents in my shop, so I got to find a way to find some of those. I took in another deal this week that had mid cents approved, no 75s.
Weird. Sounds weird.
One of the most common dates out there, it's like that. I will have none, and I'll need one, and I won't be able to sell it. And then the next day, somebody's going to walk in and they're going to have 10 of them. I'll guarantee it.
Yep, that's what happened today. We had a guy call this morning and wanted us to hold some coins until after New Year's, and we were like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that with, not putting anything down on them. But we're getting ready to close. We'll be closed to the public till after New Year, so they're probably going to be here. And we sold them all today. We haven't sold one in 2 weeks, but we sold every one of them today to 2 different people. It was just how it works sometimes.
Yeah.
So, well, you want to check in on our friends that are watching us live tonight? See if they have any questions?
We've got quite a few people out there.
Yeah. Everybody looks like they're just having a good old time. I see some folks talking to each other. So if you guys have any questions, Mike, you can go ahead and if you want to check the email.
Joe Bohannon says thanks for always being reliable, unlike the United States Postal Service. News brought to you by dogs, carrying you the paper for over 100 years.
Oh, dogs. That's a good one. But yeah, if you guys have any questions you want us to get to, go ahead and type them in now, and we'll see what we can do our best to answer them for you. I know that. Have you checked the email lately?
No, as a matter of fact, what's funny is I went to sign into questions at coinshowradio.com and I can't remember the password.
Oh, I'll have to reset it for you.
For the life of me. So you'll have to reset it and check it. But let's see. Joe Bohannon also says he has learned to use hand sanitizer just before using a loop.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good way to do it.
Hey guys, can you tell me about a whizzed coin?
Okay, yeah, sure. Scott.
Say Alu used to do it with his hands. This is something different.
Scott W. Smith, thanks for asking. A whiz coin, basically, whizzing is, they call it whizzing because they used to use tools like dental drills. But basically nowadays, I suspect they probably use like a Dremel or something very similar. They put a kind of brush on it, and sorry about that. And then they apply it to the coin and basically give the coin artificial luster. They make it look like it has luster, but if you look really close with a loop or a microscope, even you can actually see the lines from the brush on the coin, and the luster is not quite right.
They make the luster lines wavy versus straight as they cartwheel around the coin.
Right. When you look at a coin that's cartwheeling, you want that cartwheel to just kind of be straight across the coin. But when you see a coin that's been whizzed, it's really almost like it looks like an S when the luster goes across the coin. It's really curved. I don't know how else better to explain it without pictures of one, but maybe that's something we could do a segment on, Mike. Mike and I have been talking, by the way.
We have, and we've got some nice news for our listeners that coming in 2021, we are going to have a little bit more of the revival of the educational segment, because now we have this video element that we can use that we never had before. So we're going to do some charts and diagrams, and to borrow a line from Arlo Guthrie, we're going to have pictures with circles and arrows and a picture and a paragraph on the back of each one explaining what each and every one is. So it'll be fun, and we'll get that one done. Steve Vesely, who this is a guy who knows what he's talking about a bit, says whizzing actually moves metal on the surface. Look for a halo around the devices.
Yep, that's another good way to tell it, because a brush doesn't get right up against the corner of the stars. If you think about it, there's a spinning brush. It doesn't get right in that corner. So you'll get a little bit of the original luster or surfaces there, and it leaves kind of a halo around them. So that's another way to kind of look and see if a coin's been whizzed. But a lot of times whizzing...
They whiz it with a fairly soft-haired brush. It's not an aggressive brush.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's like brass or metal. I've seen a couple different ways to do it.
Well, I don't have a lot of experience with having done it, but I was under the impression that it was a fairly, innocuous brush that did little more than just kind of push the very surface metal around without really getting too much into.
Probably also depends on the skill of the guy doing it.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm sure we've seen coins that have been poorly done.
Oh, I've seen a few. Yes, sir.
Steve Schubert asked, how many 42/1 Mercury dimes have you found?
Okay, so I do have a thing about searching Merc dimes. I love to do it. I don't know why. I have found 0 1942/1 Ps, and I have found 17 1942/1 Ds.
Now, which one's the easier one to see? The Philadelphia, right?
The Philadelphia is the easy one to see.
Okay, so you've done microscope work with that.
I just grab a loop and go through handfuls of them when I think about it, or when I have time. When I want to take a little break from doing one project, I'll grab a handful and go through them. And I mean, I found 17 42/1 Ds and no 42/1 Ps, and that's actually mostly due to the fact that the 42/1 Ds really weren't written about until much later, whereas the 42/1 Ps were so obvious that they found them right away. So people started really digging through their coinage. So you can actually find old bags of like investment silver, from the 80s or the late 70s, that have a lot of dimes in them. You can go through and find them. They're there.
There are still old collections coming in, and as these old collections come in, some of the undiscovered have been kept in rolls in bulk and stuff like that. You know how many 42/1 I found, Matt?
How many, Mike?
0.
I'm on that button tonight. I don't know why. I like that one.
That's how many I found, and I actually was chastised when I started looking at them because my boss says I don't have the time to look for them. So here's a hint: if you want to look for them,
be the boss.
He doesn't serve them. No, we don't search them. So you could buy them from us and search for them. But no, he is like, look, think about this. If you find one, okay, how many hours are you going to spend doing that? And how much money am I paying you to do that? And then how much money are we going to make on that coin?
Right. Yeah, I mean, the last one I found was
spent doing other things, and I'm like, okay, got it, cool, I'm done.
The very last one I found went into a PCGS AU55 holder, so that was kind of worth it. That's like $1,000.
Well, I've been spending my time productively doing other things, which you also helped me with.
Yep, I try. But Steve also asked how many 19 double die outbursts. I've actually not found one of those. I'd like to, but not found one yet. I looked.
Ian, his son is up to 13 of the D overdates.
Yeah, they're out there. You can find them. Just a little trick of the trade there, guys. You might write that one down. Look at your Mercury dimes.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I don't see any others. I guess.
One of the things that I did this week was I got I talked to somebody at Burke about a couple of coins that I had that I came across, and I said, I really, really want to send these off and see if they'll lowball. And I got we don't have time for that kind of thing. So okay, so I took the coins, and when Evan was in the shop, I pulled him aside. I said, Evan, I want you to look at these. Evan looked at me. He goes, yeah, I think they'll straight grade. I don't think there'll be any problem at all. I'm like, okay, cool. Here's what you do. Take them back with you. You take them and send them off to have them graded. And when they come back, then we'll figure out what we're going to do with them.
Right.
Okay. So they came back. They came back this week. And the 1922 came back in a PCGS holder as Poor 1, straight grade. And the 1885 Plain Morgan came back as Fair 2, straight grade.
They both went through a lot of slot machines.
They certainly did. These coins were, I thought, no-brainers as far as, because they weren't scratched, they weren't damaged, there was nothing really wrong with them. They were just worn. And so they're absolutely beautiful. And now we got to figure out what we're going to do with them. But at that time, it kind of made some points with my boss because I was able to show him, hey, look, here's something that I know how to do. Because he's still learning what I know.
Right.
I look, I've tried as hard as I could to be extremely modest coming in here because although, I come on here on this show and I look at notes and I look at the internet and I may sound like I know a ton of crap, it's like I'm reading a lot of this stuff. So, I know some of it, I don't know some of it. And a lot of the coin shop type stuff is experience and looking at coins and knowing what looks right.
Yep.
And that you don't get from a book. So, that only does come with experience. So their expectations when they hired me, we had set the bar very low saying, look, we'll just start it as I don't know anything. And everything that I know is a bonus. So they've been kind of trying to figure out what it is that I do know. Their advice to me was know what you don't know, which is great advice because you can pass on something that you don't know.
Yeah.
And never get in trouble for it. But if you buy something that you shouldn't have because you just don't know what you're doing, that's where it becomes a problem. So I like that. I like the freedom. And they have given me a lot of freedom to do exactly that.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
I tell my guys the same thing. Please, if you don't know, ask. It's easy enough.
Mike, HMU with that 401. What does HMU mean?
Hit me up.
Oh, okay.
It's hip lingo, Mike. You're too old.
I am. Back in my day, we didn't have grading services and we liked it. Liked it just fine.
Don't have to put that one on a button over here on my.
If you start,
it'll be war, won't it? All
yes,
right.
It will.
Well, you ready? Let's jump on over to I think the thing that everybody's here for, which is your coolest thing. You ready? I'm ready.
Absolutely.
You ready? Let's do it.
You're listening to the Coin Show Podcast with Matt Dinger and Mike Nodelman.
Well. I love this segment. I think this is probably my new favorite segment, as much as it pains me to say it.
No, I don't hate on you for it.
I know.
I understand. It's like this is actually our listeners showing off their stuff.
Yep.
Which I think that's what this show's all about.
Yep. It's about coins and coin collecting, like the intro says.
Yes, it's kind of obvious.
All right, well, let's check it out. Justin, the moderator's up first.
He got first in line. I wonder how.
Yeah, he got to purchase a rare Philadelphia minted Hawaii $1. I love these things. Let's see if I can't get some big pictures up for everybody. I tried to line this up, Brian.
The estimated pop on this is less than 10,000 in all grades.
Yeah.
So this one graded PCGS XF40. This one is actually
looks fairly attractive for a Hawaii dollar.
This is a US coin.
Kind of. Made in Philadelphia for the Kingdom of Hawaii. Was not a state yet.
But it was a territory at the time. This is when we took them over as a territory, right?
No, Kingdom of Hawaii. This is still when they were. This is still when they were under their own sovereignty.
Okay.
So cool coin.
Cool.
I love them. Ooh, yeah. Spencer's going after your what you're learning about these days with a.
You know what? Yeah.
Tell me about this coin, Mike. Go ahead.
About the book.
Tell me all about this coin because I know it's a tetradrachm.
It is a tetradrachm. It's from 297 to 281. What ruler it is, I have no idea. I'm not an ancient guy. I can tell you it is silver.
Yes. And
it is a sharp looking coin. There's a really nice strike to it.
It's Macedonian.
The strike is fairly well centered and is looks to be complete.
Yeah, and that's something actually in ancient coins that a lot of people that don't collect ancients, you have to actually look at that on ancient coins is the centering, how well a coin is made, physically made, and how well it's the front and the back are actually centered on the planchet. So, or they call it the flan in ancient coin collecting.
Yeah, and you can have a wavy flan or you can have a straight flan.
Yep, that's right. Looks.
Isaiah Hageman, extremely rare, 2005 S silver proof, Kansas, It's a die dent.
I have never heard of such a thing.
So a large die dent on the reverse.
I'm going to have to look this up. I don't know.
18 certified between PCGS and NGC, and this one is tied for top pop. It's 69 deep cam.
I'm going to pull up Coinfax here and see if we can't find a picture of this, because in the picture it doesn't show too awful well. So let's see. It's a what year?
It's a 2005 Kansas silver quarter.
P or D? Oh, it's a proof. It's a proof. It's a proof.
It's an S, yeah.
2005 Kansas proof. And is it silver or clad?
Silver proof.
Silver proof. All right, let's pull this up and look at the varieties and see exactly what the heck we're looking at here. There it is.
See what we can see.
Yeah, I got it coming here. We got a nice big picture loading. Hopefully it shows up. Oh, I see it. Interesting. Okay. So, let me get back to the other picture so it shows a little better on the show here. It's right here on the buffalo. On the side of the buffalo, there's a large, what I would call a die gouge, but they're calling it a little bit bigger, a die dent. Huh. Very interesting.
Dent.
Yeah, interesting. Cool. Thanks for posting that one. I like that. Something new.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is like it's like he's got a gigantic bald spot on his side.
Yeah, very interesting.
Oh, that's cool.
I see Dave's posting his shipping tracking.
And now what is this tracking out? Is this a gold
I don't know. He doesn't he scribbled out all the important parts.
Yeah. But it's Monday the 21st by 9 p.m.
Ash posts a 1558 Spanish Netherlands Dalder. This is one of my oldest coins struck by King Philip II when he was also King of England because he was married to Bloody Mary. Cool. Spanish Netherlands, Barbant. Super cool stuff. I don't know a ton about that stuff, but I love those big, chunky silver coins they make. I've had quite a few of them over the years.
Old, big hammered coins, they sell for big, big bucks.
Some of them for sure, yeah.
Especially when they're in high grade like this.
Yeah, Michael says, needed the key date 1921D to help finish out my Walking Liberty set in VG or better. I was able to find this solid example at a local coin show this Sunday. I'm still amazed these are still available since about half as many were made as compared to the 1916D Mercury dime. That's right.
You know what I'd love to see the other side of it, Michael? The thing that always marvels me about 21Ds is the propensity of people to call a coin VG when it doesn't have complete rims.
I bet you that coin does. PC is pretty good about that.
As on the obverse, without a question. So I want to see the other side to make sure. But it seems like people have relaxed their standard on this specific coin because it is so rarely available with full rims.
Right.
But it's like full rims, it's like it can't be a VG without it.
Yeah. And here's a picture of the rest of his set there. It looks pretty darn nice. I love a good set of walkers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's got a nice 19S in there. He's got a nice obverse 17D.
Cool. Very cool.
Beautiful.
Don posts a Balboa, Spanish Balboa, struck at the U.S. Mint. This one is, let's see if we posted more pictures. Yep, there it is, 1973.
Kind of big, kind of silver for 1973. These were struck at the U.S. Mint, right?
Yes, they were. Chunky silver.
Yep. Don Osler also posted let's see what he's got here, a 1916. See the other side. Show me the D.
Show me the D, baby.
I don't know if that's a D or an S.
Looks like a D.
Let's see. It's in the right place for the D.
Yeah.
I'm old. You tell me.
It looks like it's got a chance. It's hard to say from those pictures, but definitely looks like 16D to me.
Yeah.
Joe Bohannon.
Go.
Joe Bohannon. Joey B. Hey. My dad got me into collecting and is currently in a nursing home, so can't collect, but is hopefully listening to the show right now. Hi, Joe's dad.
Hi, Joe's dad.
I got 2 of his Half Eagle certified. He paid $150 a piece for them in the 60s, an 1839D and a 1909 O, both AU50.
Now, the 1839D is just insane
and
for
then,
$150. $50.
Did you read that last sentence, Mike? That's on you. He says, "I'll be very disappointed if I don't get the boing sound effect."
Oh no, there's no question about it. Hold on a second. Let's give you a couple of them. I mean, because that one is that's like 4 boing worthy. It's I mean that is a beautiful coin.
Yeah, very very nice
I love
coin.
Scarlet Mid Gold, and I love Demonica Mid Gold, and this is right in that, and it's a 5.
Yeah, it's a 5, and it has the cool obverse mint mark just above the date. Super cool placement.
Yeah, first year of the branch mint, and or was it second year of the branch mint? Second year, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Still putting the mid marks on the obverse, yeah. So that was cool. And the 19090, is a key date.
Yep.
So this one also gets.
That gets a 2 boinger.
No, that's a 3 boinger.
All right.
Yeah. So. And then Dave Nelson says he gives us the old. He goes, should I do the Casey Kasem impression?
Oh boy.
Nice.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, he was Shaggy.
Yes, he was.
I'm Casey Kasem.
Wow.
And I'm dead. Let's see. Kevin, is it Vi or Val? A coin 5 years before Mozart was born, minted in the capital of my home country, also my oldest non-ancient coin. So this one is a New Spain half real. So it's a let's see, it's a half real, so it is 4 bits. No. Half real
would be 16 bits.
No. So let's see. 1 real or a Spanish pillar dollar had 8 bits.
8 reals, yes.
And that was an 8 reals. So this is a half real. So this is half of a bit.
16.
Yeah. So this is 16.
Like I said.
I thought you. Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Ooh, Steve's up. Steve. I love Steve.
He's bringing it.
Yeah, see, it certainly is. He shows us a 1776 Continental Currency note, graded by PMG as 65 EPQ. These are super cool pieces. I really like these. There's not a ton of stuff that was actually produced in 1776. Some of these Continental pieces for sure were, because they're dated. This one just super high grade, so very, very cool. I like these too because they have the leaves on the back. They kind of made these leaf plates to use for anti-counterfeiting. They wanted something complicated in the design that would be hard to replicate, and that's why they put the leaves on the back there.
And they were made by a private company. All the banknotes were made by.
They were made by private printers. They were just guys in.
And even U.S. Banknote Company was in the business for a long time, right?
Not of colonials. These were made by private printers in their home.
Actual U.S. currency stuff. Oh. But yeah, Steve, the only Continental dollar actually produced in 1776 has an amazing pedigree. So yeah, this one is dated 1776. The signatures on it, I was looking to see if it was anybody you could recognize. It was Parker and Evans.
A lot of times you can research these guys and figure out what they did. A lot of them went on to be, higher ups in the government later on. Some of these notes feature people that, went on to be governors of certain states early on. And
to have been on one of these notes, I mean, they had to have been somebody of some, repute.
Right. Sure.
Yeah. Bernie Stiller, 1966, mint error, MS-65 struck on a dime planchet, so this is a quarter struck on a dime.
And then with an obverse strike through, so a double error. I love double errors.
So yeah, it's like not enough to have one error. And then he has another one. He has a half, which was struck on a quarter planchet with an obverse strike through. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Bernie has a complete typeset.
Cool.
Strike throughs. Or somebody I know. Somebody has recently mentioned that to me.
I'm going to say I bet you $1 it was Bernie because he's showing us 2 of them.
Yeah. Kyle Dugan, our friend from Wales.
Yeah.
This arrived this week and is already off to NGC. They're 2020 Snowman. Have you seen the Royal Mint Snowman coins?
I'm looking at one right now.
No, I mean, other than this, though, they're unbelievably collectible, and they're just these colorized. They're these colorized clad coins. They're 50 pence, and they make them in really small numbers, and they just really, really sell out every year.
Cool. That's a cool one. I mean, the kid's face is probably kind of cold, but other than that, it's pretty cool.
Well, he is being buried into a snowball. God, you're twisted.
Sorry. Dave Hollister says, coolest numismatic thing I own is the pictured early commemorative encyclopedia by autographed by Mr. Commem himself. And how do you say Anthony's last name?
I think it's pronounced Swiatek.
Swiatek. Anthony Swiatek. I mean, I recognize the name, but I just never had to pronounce it before.
Yeah.
It's a must-have book for anyone collecting commems. Wow, that's cool. Look at that.
Very calligraphy-like handwriting, and it says it's inscribed, it's signed, book 19 of 500 copies.
That's super cool.
And then it says to Dave Hollister, first, read my book, then buy the commems numismatically. Anthony.
There you go. Very cool. Great advice.
That is.
All right. Julian Olander bought this at a deep discount due to being in the newer ICG holder. I thought it was beautiful, so I bought it. Crossed it into a PCGS holder, and it came back AU58. Very cool. Julian is showing us...
Bought the coin, not the holder.
Yep. Julian is showing us a Württemberg 3 mark 1913F with some really pretty toning. I like these German states coins. Another one of my kind of areas of interest. He said ICG graded this coin in an MS62, so it downgraded at PCGS, but that's okay because
it's really nice bag toning.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if it's bag toning or maybe album toning.
Well, I don't know about the album part. It looks to me like there was a coin laying across the obverse part way, and there was a coin across the reverse part way. That's why I think bag.
It's hard to say.
But you're right. I mean, it wouldn't be up against the bag on both sides. It would just be loose. I don't know. So, yeah, you're right.
Ryan Fisher shows us a 1901 $0 in an old school Annex MS64 holder.
Soap holder, isn't it?
I don't know what they call these. I just call them old Annex holders. Old white Annex holders.
Okay.
And then he shows us...
It's a 1901 and MS64.
Yeah, pretty coin.
Yeah,
pretty coin. I always liked those holders. That was when I first started, getting stuff graded. That was actually the first company I ever sent stuff to. Was getting those holders back as a kid.
Susan Stahl says that this was one of her father's coins that her brother used it for target practice.
Now this is really cool. I like this.
Well, apparently her brother wasn't that good a shot. But
well, it is a Carson City. It's an 1879 Carson City.
That's enough to make a grown man cry.
But you know what? That's the thing. That's the thing about this. You and I, being coin guys in the shop, would look at this coin and be like, "Oh man, that coin's damaged." But Susan looks at this coin and remembers that time.
Sure.
That her brother took her dad's coin out in the backyard and shot his BB gun at it. So that's pretty cool.
That's reaction.
Yeah, I mean, it gives a lot of coin guys a real visceral reaction, but I bet Susan looks at that coin
absolutely
has happy thoughts. So cool, very cool. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Absolutely.
Mark Schuer says, I'm trying to get a set of British farthings, one per monarch. It's fairly easy until you get to Queen Anne. Those go for over $1,000. Here is one from the last King of America, George III.
Now, it's really funny because I recently came into possession of one of these. An 1803 George III farthing. He has an 1806, but it's like they're very, very cool. I learned from it. I learned about the non-decimal British coinage system, because they have farthings and then half pennies and then pennies and shillings and guineas and all that other kind of stuff.
Sure.
So, yeah. But this one's in really, really nice shape.
It looks nice. Like probably for, it's funny, but they grade stuff a little harder in Europe. They would probably call that coin like a nice VF over there.
Yeah, I'd say real nice VF.
Yeah.
Let's see. I can't read this name.
Okay, well, it's
It's
okay.
Arabic. I'm sorry, but it is a 2019 silver dollar, the moon landing silver dollar.
Yeah, the Apollo.
And this one is the dollar.
I was just
Not
looking to see if it was the big one or the little one. It's a little one, I think. Super cool. I love those coins.
I do.
I do too.
It's one of the, I don't own many commems. I own a baseball commem.
Yeah.
And I own one of these. And they're both curved, obviously, but, I just think they're neat. And I also remember this event particularly being a big event in my life. So.
Oh, for sure. I can imagine. How old were you?
7.
7. So, yeah, your eyes were full of stars and glued to the TV, probably.
I was old enough to actually be conscious of what was going on. And this was a real worldwide event.
Oh,
this
for
was
sure.
like the first events that the entire world was watching all at once.
Yep.
It was very cool.
Super cool.
Zachariah Dormy. So I have 3 coolest things, but each for different reasons. The 1878 Rib VAM 6 was one I got from my landlord for helping sell off some of his old coins, and he had no idea were valuable.
There you go.
The 1944 D over D was my first overmint mark. He found coin roll hunting.
Awesome.
And the Widow's Mite is just cool because it's been around since Jesus walked the earth.
That's right. Cool. Very cool. See, that's perfect.
Collect what you want for the reasons you want.
That's exactly right. We've been saying that for years. Collect it because you like it. DA Sales posts 1882 Morgan Silver Dollar. Looks like a nice Philadelphia example with some decent
It has
toning.
some interesting toning on it.
I don't mind. I like the toning.
Some blue and some champagne on the back.
Yeah, pretty. Speaking of toning, Tyler posts a 1972 Canadian dollar in OGP. These coins are notorious for toning like this. These guys get a lot of pretty rainbow colors on them.
I think it's because of the fake velvet in the box.
Yeah, like the fake felt or velvet or whatever it is they use. It definitely gashes a little bit.
Like dollars too. The
Yep.
The brown box sites.
Yep, for sure.
Mike Wagner. I understand that anyone might have done this, but I ask myself, what if? The detail, if the engraving is quite unique. And somebody engraved the name Nikola.
Nikola Tesla.
Well, Nikola isn't, Tesla wasn't the only guy named
No,
Nikola.
I know. And it unfortunately probably has nothing to do with him, but super cool to think about. Maybe
Well, it's right about that time. It's right about the right time.
That's true. Maybe it does. That's the best part about this stuff is it very well could have. It's hard to say. Cool. Very cool.
I don't know if they engraved it or if they stamped it.
That's a stamp for sure.
No, well, here's the evidence that it's not stamped. Look at the other side. And the other side doesn't show any flattening, so
it's definitely stamped.
Great.
1,000% stamped, my friend.
Okay.
1,000%.
Jim Barlow. So this one is Philip I, the Arab. This is a Roman emperor, 244 through 249 AD.
It's a sesterces, so it's a big guy.
Yeah, it's a big bronze coin. This one is a rare coin. So this is from the year 5. It's 28 millimeters, 19.9 grams.
Cool. Super cool.
That is cool.
Big chunky Roman bronzes are always neat. Malcolm McGaw. I don't collect modern coins at all, but my daughter, age 13, keeps one of all the different 50 pence that we get in change. This one is from the Isle of Man, which technically isn't legal tender here, but nobody cares. It shows a... What is this? Lotgan sheep? I don't know.
You know what? If it's Irish or Scottish, forget it.
Yeah. Shows a sheep on the reverse.
Yeah.
But how heavy the metal is in that design. That's super cool.
It is cool. This looks like it was part of a commemoration. Like it has proof frost on it.
I think they're circulating over there.
It is kind of funny that this is it's not a legal tender coin, but yet it's circulated.
And then last but not least, Don posts a little video, looks like. A good showing at the Grapevine Coin Show today. Let's take a look. Oh, I miss coin shows. That looks like so much fun.
Grapevine, Texas.
Uh,
Look at that. A room with people in it.
I know. Look, everybody's wearing a mask, so that's good.
Yes. No. It looks like social distancing and mask wearing is the deal of the day, and that's what's important. But yeah, that looks like fun.
That does. Looks like a good time.
So depressed.
I know. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there.
Everybody who sent us their coolest things, we love. I mean, we love doing this segment.
You guys rock. You really do. So thank you guys. Wow, are we down to 177s in the can now? Good.
Yeah, and 177 looks to be a marathon.
I was just thinking that myself, my friend. So let's let everybody get out of here. We can get out of here, and you can go hang out with your lovely wife. I'll go hang out with my lovely wife, and we'll have a wonderful.
Okay, so let's see from the chat. Anything else?
No.
Let's see. Charles Murphy. Hey guys, thank you for the show. I'm fairly new to this. Can you tell any good places to acquire coins to go through besides eBay and banks? Yeah, there's Lost Dutchman rare coins. And,
no, he wants to go through coins. He wants to go through coins.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry. Yeah. No, he wants to acquire coins to go through though.
Oh, okay.
He's acquire first and then go through. So yeah, Lost Dutchman rare coins. Harlan J. Burke. Wonderful places. Let's see. And I have questions for you based on the coins I have now. Well, John, send those questions to questions@coinshowradio.com. Maybe we'll answer them on a future show.
Yep.
So thank you to everybody for coming out tonight. Thanks for sending your coolest things. I have thrown down the gauntlet to Matt. He has a severe challenge on his hand for 2 weeks from now. We'll see how he responds.
I'll do my best.
Sorry?
I said I'll do my best.
Oh, okay, cool. I also have warned him, the next show is the day after Christmas. No. That's it's the week. It's the day after New Year's. So our next show is 2021.
Uh-oh. January 2021 when we start our giveaways.
Yeah, we're going to start our giveaways. We're going to start some other really cool stuff. So I would definitely tune in.
And if you want to support the show, guys, right down here, patreon.com/The Coin Show. Don't have to. This show is 100% free, but every little donation.
We do this for the love of the game.
Yep.
If you want to help us out, if you want to help us do some things, which, the people that have helped us out have brought us leaps and bounds from where we were. So,
donations help the show. Let us, get us further down the path of helping you guys learn about coins and just having a good time. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Justin, for taking care of all of our crap, and to Ernesto. Both of those guys take care of the social media and the Facebook stuff. Thank you to our unnamed source, Mr. Barry Swan. Thanks to all of you who listened, because without that, this entire endeavor would be entirely pointless. So let's see. Do we want to do like old school?
I'm hitting the
Do
button.
we want to do
3?
It's your call, buddy.
2. Oh, well, let's go backwards then. So, for the Coin Show, I'm Matt.
And I'm Mike.
We'll talk to you next time, guys, on the Coin Show. Thanks for hanging out.
You've been listening to the Coin Show podcast with Matt Dinger and Mike Nottleman. The boys will be back soon with another informative and entertaining episode. Meanwhile, you can follow the show on social media at The Coin Show on Twitter and Instagram, and on Facebook at facebook.com/The Coin Show. You can also join their private group. Just search Facebook groups for Friends of the Coin Show and request access. But if you want to take it to the next level and support the Coin Show podcast, you can go to www.patreon.com/The Coin Show. If you subscribe at the $5 a month level or higher, you'll have access to Not the Coin Show podcasts on the off weeks, as well as other surprises reserved for our patrons. Visit our website at coinshowradio.com or download our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or wherever you download your podcasts. This has been the Coin Show Podcast.